Hello team, welcome back to our brand new channel QA Simplify, your space to learn software testing in the simplest way. So in today's video, we will explore the difference between black box testing, white box testing, along with an introduction with the gray box testing and red box testing. So whatever the confusion you have regarding this type of testings and which is always asked in the interview processes. So after this video, you will get clear idea about what exactly this type of testing is. Okay. So by the end, you will exactly when to use which type of testing you know. Okay. So let's begin with our lecture. So in software testing, we have different approaches to test, just like verification and for validation. So for that, we have four rigorously used techniques of testing, just like black box testing, white box testing, gray box testing, and red box testing. Red box testing is a newly introduced term. We will see in details in our upcoming slides. So let's begin with our first testing type, which is black box testing. So we will go with the standard definition of the black box testing. So testing where the internal code or logic of the application is not known to the tester. So the name suggests black box testing. Black means just you can refer it to the blind. So whenever the tester or the person who will test the application, he has don't have a knowledge about the code, and he will test with respect to the acceptance criteria or the functionality. So that type of testing is called as a black box testing. So mainly it is a focuses on functionality of the system based on the requirements. So generally this type of testing is performed by the testers or the QA engineers. Just like we have few of the example like functional testing, regression testing, and system testing. Okay, so we will see what are the advantages of black box testing. So first advantage is it is easy to design. It doesn't require the coding knowledge. It reflects end user's perspective. And if we are going with the limitation, so its limitation is its limited coverage of internal paths. May miss some hidden defects which is related to some of the integration part and which requires some of the knowledge regarding the code. Okay, that's it's all for the black box testing. Let's begin with the next testing type, which is white box testing. So the standard definition of the white box testing is the testing where the tester knows the internal code structure and the design of the code. So that type of testing is came under the white box testing. So generally focus part of the white box testing is a code coverage, logic and internal workflows. And generally this type of testing is performed by the developers or the technically skilled testers. The examples of the white box testing are unit testing, statement coverage and part testing. So we do have few of the advantages of the white box testing. These are we do have thorough testing of the code. We do have better optimization. We do have identifies the hidden errors in the application before it in getting deployed in the any of the environment. And we have certain limitations for this white box testing, such as it requires the coding knowledge for the testers or the person who will test the particular thing or the particular code or the particular functionality. Because of validation of the code, it is time consuming process and also it is expensive for large system. Means if we have implemented large system and we will validating the system with respect to the white box testing, so it is time consuming because it will takes lot of time as well as the money. So that's why. So that this is the white box testing. So let's begin with our next testing type, which is gray box testing. So the gray box testing, it is generally the combination of white box testing as well as black box testing. So its definition suffice this, like it is a combination of black box and white box. So generally, tester has a partial knowledge of the internal structure and the code whatever has the written by the developer. So generally, the ETL testers who have the knowledge of the code, or the some of the API testers who have knowledge of the API and API structure, generally they are doing the gray box testing. So it is useful in integration testing and penetration testing. For example, a tester knows the database schema but not full application. But based on that, he will test the application thoroughly with the combination of functional requirement as well as some of the technical knowledge. And another example is testing APIs with the partial documentation. Okay, so that is the gray box testing. So let's begin with our next testing type, which is a red box testing. So red box testing, it is a less common testing methodology or the testing type which is used in the industry in the current era, because it is an emerging concept. Uh, Preferably refers to the security testing of firewalls, network layers, and some of the external attacks to provide the system against some external attacks like the malwares and other things. So oftenly it is used in ethical hacking or the advanced penetration of testing scenarios. Generally, it ensures system security against external threats. So it can involve adversarial testing methods. Okay, so that is the red box testing. So let's move to the next part, which is a comparison between black box, white box, gray box, and red box. From that, you will get easily understand the exact difference between all these four types of testing. So first aspect is knowledge required. So for black box testing, as we discussed, there is no code knowledge required for the tester. In white box testing, it is generally done by the developer, so it may require the full code knowledge. In the gray box testing, the partial code knowledge is required, whereas he knows like some of the backend part or some of the UI part. Just like based on the combination, he is doing the gray box testing, whereas the red box is varies often regarding the security focus of the application. So next aspect is focus. So black box is focused on the functionality, whereas white box is focused on the code structure, whereas gray box focused on both mix like functionality as well as code structure, whereas the red box testing is generally focuses on the security of the application. Third aspect is tester type. So generally, black box testing is done by end user or testers. White box testing is done by the developers. Gray box is done by the SDT or the testers, and red box is done by security experts. Next aspect of difference is example. So example of black box testing is login form test. White box testing is unit testing. Gray box testing is API with the partial docs or the some of the database testing with the UI validation. And the red box testing, we will uh, check whether the application security is aligned to the market standards or not, or the just penetration test. So that is for our today's video. So on the high level summary, what we have learned. So we have learned what is black box testing. So black box testing is focuses on what system does, and then we have learned white box testing. So it is generally focuses on how system works. Gray box testing. In gray box testing, we will learn it is a middle ground. We have required the partial knowledge of functional as well as coding. Next one is red box testing. So generally it is focuses on security focused testing. And as we know that on this overall discussion, each type of testing plays a crucial role on the successfulness of any of the project. So I hope everyone has get and clear idea about what are these testing type like black box, white box and gray box and red box testing. So if you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe to QA Simplify. Comment below which type of testing you use most often and don't forget to check the playlist for more videos in software testing basics series. So thanks a lot for watching the video. We will meet in our next video. Thank you.